Say, well, Robert Earl Dean, we have a good one with us today.
Oh yes, y'all. Some of y'all don't know. I am a track and field fanatic.
Uh huh.
Yes, I'm a singer. I'm a promoter. I'm a radio
You all
personality.
that?
Yes,
All right.
but I've been coaching for 33 years this year.
Yes.
And I had a chance to work with Sheila Burrell at San Diego State University, a
Mm-hmm.
former Olympian, and Tony Campbell at Southwestern College, a former Olympian,
Uh huh.
and Charles Yindork, a former Olympian, and track is the thing for me too. So
Amen.
I am so honored and privileged. I've watched this young man run for years, and
Was
he's
he
a
running
tough
for
guy.
Jesus? What was he
He was
running?
running for Jesus, and he was running for the USA.
Yeah, for the USA.
Yeah, he was doing both.
All right. Born in the USA. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. None other than Mr. Greg Nixon. Good morning, my brother. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show with Dr. LT and Robert O'Dean.
How you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning.
Yes,
Man, I'm gonna start off the whole thing with my first beef with you this morning.
you always got a beef.
You came on, you was looking good and everything else of that nature. I was getting ready to set it all up, and then you disappeared. And Robert,
Yeah.
well, watch this. And this is Robert Earl Dean. He like, why is he talking so much? So he was giving me this look like,
I sure was.
and I was like sitting up there like, look behind you, look behind you.
Right.
So now you know.
Right.
And everything.
Well, I caught it. We
You
were working
kinda-
together long enough for me to catch your hints. Cause you were just singing. I was looking at the clock and I was like,
And I was like sitting up here like, now we like a relay race.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I pass it to you, you
Right,
pass it to me.
right, and then we pass it to him.
But if I'm holding on to it,
then you
that
got to
mean
run a
there's-
little longer.
There's a little situation that's
Yeah.
oh, all right. So brethren,
Brother Greg. Yes.
Greg,
Yeah.
I want to start off by saying we are so godly proud of
Yes,
you
sir.
and all your accomplishments that you
Yes.
have done over the years. I just want to first ask the question: when did you start running?
Honestly, I started running. I mean, I have to back up. I mean, I actually, I think it was only distance. I mean, I started running young, but not thinking it would go to this level. I actually thought I would be a football player.
I know. Hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, how track and this running thing got started. I mean, I think it was destiny. It definitely was God pushing me in this direction. And yeah, I mean, it started off as football, and it led to it. This all happened later on in my life. Actually going into college, or not even going into college, in the middle of college. So the story is crazy how it all started. But yeah, it actually. Developed later on in my life, but I was running as a kid. I mean, I ran the streets growing up in New Orleans, playing football, running, little league track, but not thinking this will actually manifest into me traveling the world, being paid to be running. So
Right.
it's a
Professional.
long story. So yeah.
So I'm gonna ask this because we just unorthodox at times. I hear a little voice in the background. Who's the little voice that we hear?
That's my youngest. That was my wife. She just walked in. I have a younger. He was 16 months. The oldest is 3.
Uh-huh.
He's in school. Thankfully, he's in school. Yeah. So I got two little boys. Two boys. Yeah, they're awesome. They wear me out, but I
Uh-huh.
have to stay in shape for them. They actually motivate me to get back running and stay in shape. Health also, but definitely just being able wanting to run with them one day, just to move around. I'm not gonna force them to compete, but I just want to be able to be healthy enough just to be able to just run around and be active with them.
Do I hear a comeback?
Now wait a minute. Let me just say this before we just say that. I want to say now, if you got daddy duties and you need to grab the baby, that's okay. He can come
We
on
don't care.
camera. We don't care.
Right. We one of them kind of shows.
Yeah.
So do I hear? Do I hear a comeback?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
I think honestly, to be honest with you, the things I accomplished, it went way beyond I
Yes.
can imagine.
That was
I mean,
that was God.
I think about it. I know I'm physically able to do it, but
Yes.
I think I've been honored and blessed to go as far as I did. And I mean, all the things that I accomplished, like I said, I growing up, taking it to that level wasn't there. I actually was just trying to break chains, and do something different for my family.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Right.
I packed up my bags, thinking I would definitely play football, but then I got the opportunity to compete and run track, and I packed my bags up and moved out to Phoenix, Arizona. So
Yeah.
I drove out by myself. I mean, man, got to be over 18 hours.
That was faith.
Yeah, honestly, nothing but fate. The coach that coached me, I never met. The apartment I was living in, I've never visited. I literally did everything online. I had a printout of a map. That's all I had, and I drove from New Orleans to Phoenix. Never been to Phoenix. Never been to the apartment.
Right.
Never meeting the coach. Never been at Arizona State. That's why I started my career, and that's why I met my wife. Later on, we got married, but it had to be all fate. I mean, I just had a printout of a map, and I was like, I can't stay here, so I have to try this. So yeah, that was all fate.
When you had a picture of the map, when you saw Phoenix, did you see a little devil on it saying that it's hotter than heck there?
I had no idea. I mean, I thought growing up in New Orleans it was hot. It was humid, but I never knew what dry heat was, so I moved to Phoenix.
Right. Now, let's go to your college situation because it's very unique. You and Tyrese Washington have similar paths because the football thing was your like first dream, and then it took a turn. Let's talk about you getting to college and playing at the legendary Grambling State University, where I attended as well.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. Me and Tyrese are really good friends. But yeah, I started off going to Grambling State, competing, and I mean not competing, playing football.
Yes.
Under Doug Williams.
Yes.
And then I mean it was a great experience.
He's a legend.
I'm so thankful that I was legendary. I mean it just was an honor to be at Grambling, and I went to school for architecture, so I had a great program. My director is he's the band director right now, Dr. Thomas. He's still there right now, but yeah, I mean it was a great honor to be at Grambling. I learned so much, I had so much fun, so many friends, and honestly it just wasn't working out. Doug Williams ended up getting a job at Tampa Bay, and by that time I'm just like, you know what, I'm happy, I'm enjoying myself here, but I feel like I need to do more. I have more in me, and I decided to take faith and transfer to a small school. I had no idea where I was going, but I just knew it was something more in me. I'm sure it drove my parents crazy that I wanted to leave and go to Texas, somewhere in Texas. That
I know.
No one knew nothing about Texas. So yeah, it was a journey. But yeah, I thought football was my thing. I mean, I trained so hard, but honestly, I think it prepared me to be who I became. Because I took it serious. I mean, I definitely sacrificed a lot. I mean, while I'm enjoying this historical black college, so many things going on, I used to still just at night train by myself. I literally remember these. I could have been homecoming or Springfest. We had these concerts. Cash Money, Lil Wayne.
They have big ones.
Was ludicrous. I'm hearing the music playing, but I was on the field training at the same time. So I skipped that whole thing where all my friends went to the concert. I was literally the only one in the dark training on the field because I took it that serious.
Wow.
So tell me, what position did you play?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
Speed.
Okay.
Yeah, the speed was there. I mean, we all. I actually. It's funny. I used to race in the streets at Grambling on campus, right in front of the lunch. I mean the cafeteria. Yeah, like doing these street races, and all my friends. Sadly, we shouldn't have been doing it, but they were betting, and these guys were like, "My guy's the fastest." There's people from all over, out of Shreveport, California, Chicago.
Right.
So I don't know who I'm racing, but they literally grabbing me out of the crowd. You can't beat my friend, and we right in the middle of Grambling and racing on the street. That's actually where probably my first race came from, just racing in the streets of Grambling. But I didn't. It didn't still translate to track because I still didn't.
Because you was football.
Yeah, I was just all football. Track wasn't on my mind. And yeah, I mean that's how it all started. I mean, but yeah, definitely just
that's crazy.
So who discovered you or put the bug for track in your ear?
Once I left Grambling, I transferred, and in the middle of a play, I believe I still have this tape somewhere, but my quarterback threw an intercept, and I was in the back of the end zone, and I was very disappointed. So I'm kind of sitting there. So I literally sat around for about 5 seconds while this guy just take the ball and running up the field. And then something clicked in my mind to say, just go catch him.
Go get him.
And I literally went from the back of the end zone. This guy probably was at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
Like, going, and I ran him down. It drove everybody crazy. The whole crowd was weirded out. And one of my players, coach, screamed out of the stands, "You better run track!" And I'm just like,
in the middle of a game.
in the middle of the game, like it just was crazy. So yeah, my quarterback threw an intercept. I'm in the back of the end zone, and this guy's just taking off running, and then I just ran this guy down.
Wow.
Kind of that Megatron, not Megatron. It just happened this year. The guy from Seattle, McCaff, how he ran down this guy on the field.
Wow.
I did the same thing, and then once I was on the sideline, and this parent just screamed down, like, "And you better run track!" And then that still didn't dawn on me. And then I went back to school, and then we watched it over and over and over in the film room. And then the track coach came and asked me, "Hey, do you want to run track?" And I said no. I mean, it took him a month to convince me to run track. The track season had already started once I was able to they had a track meet and everything, and then I finally was like, all right, I'll do it because I know I'm getting prepared for pro day and training.
Pro day, yeah.
Yeah, and I was blessed to still have some NFL teams to come out. But that was the first year, and then that's how it all got started. It took me like a month to just go out there, and I still wasn't convinced because I asked him, because he kept saying like, "Hey, you might have a better shot in track."
Right.
And I kept saying like, "If you keep saying this, I'm going to quit," because my mind was so on football.
And that's how athletes are. And as a head coach myself for high schoolers, I tell them, universities look for football players that are track runners. All your NFL players that are in the Super Bowl, all your NCAA football champions, they have been a part of track and field. We have to change these young people's minds because these coaches are brainwashing these kids into doing one sport, and now you got 7-on-7, which is a money thing.
Yes, absolutely. I do not. I try my best to open the door for tell athletes leave the back door open, leave a window open for track.
Right.
Because I mean, just start from a position of scholarship money. Of course, you may have more scholarships in football,
right?
But coaches, I mean, coaches are just looking to give money away. They just need to fill their roster. They need to fill the roster, and some of these guys, they end up in positions where like, well, if LSU, USC,
right.
All these schools, if they didn't recruit me, I don't know. Like even for myself, like I wasn't. Of course, Grambling, I was blessed to go there and play, but I mean, it was so many other opportunities. Even while I was competing at this small school,
Howard Payne. Who have we heard of Howard Payne? To be honest,
nobody. Nobody. I literally was just I was so hungry for an opportunity. And then even while my first year competing in track, Texas Tech, Arizona State,
big dogs.
Like all these schools, LSU, South Carolina, they was interested in me. Like LSU was like, I would take you, but it seemed like you have 1 year left because I did.
Right. So your time was going.
Yeah. So still in my mind, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to transfer because I'm going to lose football. I'm like, I'm going to lose my last year of football.
Right.
But I could go to Texas Tech. I could go to Arizona State. I could go to LSU. But I'm going to lose football. And it's still, my mind was just washed up. So I tell kids right now, just like, look, I know you're not that into track. I know it's not the hype that you're looking for because of football. You can't Instagram track. Track hurts. Like you can't just go to Instagram and like show your highlights, show you going around cones.
Right.
I understand that, but trust me, longevity, you might have an opportunity for at least someone to pay for you to go to school. You don't want to go to school and then leave out in a bunch of debt.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's fast forward to the Olympics and your
World
your
Championships.
World
Woo!
Championships,
Done a bunch of them.
and the events that you ran.
Yeah. So I so I started off as a 1-2 guy. So I won my national championship. I won the first year, and then I came back and won the 100 and the 200 at a smaller school.
Wow.
So then after that, like I said, I packed up and moved to Arizona State, and so I thought I was going to compete in the 100 and the 200. So as I'm training, I'm still trying to shed football weight. I'm getting whooped by one of a girl. Like one of my training partners was a girl. And I'm just like trying my best. So I'm trying to get into shape. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna run 100 and 200.
Right.
So to get in shape, my coach sent me to Northern Arizona to run some indoor meets.
NAU, yes.
NAU,
great facility.
To run some indoor meets, and to get in shape, he asked me to go run the 400. And I went. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, all right. I have the heart to do it. Like I wasn't scared. So
You wasn't? Because most sprinters are afraid of the 400.
Yes.
Because it hurts.
Exactly. So I went up there and I ended up running. It wasn't that great. I ended up running 47-1. But that
indoors. That's good.
For me, yeah, I didn't know.
Right.
I have never ran an indoor meet in my life. That was the first time I ever ran an indoor meet. So my event. So my coach asked me like, "Hey, how did you do that? How did you feel?" And I was like, "Yeah, I actually drove the 2 hours. I only had like 30 minutes to get ready."
Wow.
And I ran and I packed up and I left. He was like, that's all you had?" And for him, he understood. So he asked me to go back again the next weekend to go and compete. So I went back and I actually ran the fastest time in the U.S. at the time.
What?
It was like 46.3, 46.3 or 46.1 or something like that. 46.6 or something like that.
And that was indoors. That's fast.
Indoors, yeah. But at this time, I had no idea. I know I'm just competing.
Right.
And at that point, he asked me, he's like, "You know what you just did?" I'm like, I don't understand. No, I mean, I just ran. I beat someone, and I beat whoever I was racing against. It was like, you're ranked number 1 in the 400 right now in the U.S. And that actually birthed like, well, you know what? You should go ahead and try the 400. And I'm like, okay, because I was struggling with my block starts. I'm just developing
because of the body weight that you had to put on weight for football.
Yes. Yeah. So I end up. So I transitioned to the 400 meters, and I mean that my first year I 2006. So I'm just now transitioning to the 400 meters. So I'm moving to 2007 spring, where indoor season, and I took a shot, went out there, and I actually won my first USA Nationals, beating a lot of Olympians.
And that's hard. That's hard because we are 400. We are the 400 country.
Yes, exactly. So I competed. So 2007 we had Pan Am Games. 2008 I made the alternate the relay team
4x4.
And then 2009 took an injury. 2010. Oh, I'm sorry. I backed up. I made a couple U.S. World teams as well.
Yeah.
And then came back 2010. I'm kind of speeding through, but 2010 I won my a USA title, but outdoor this time.
Wow.
And then moving into 2011 World Championships, another injury, and then for 2012. So I mean it was a great journey. I mean we traveled the world. A funny story, in college I needed to take a foreign language, and I said, it was all these languages, and I'm like, you know what, I don't really need it. Like I'll take Spanish. Like I'm never gonna leave the country. I may go to Mexico.
Right.
Like, I hear the NFL is trying to do some stuff out there. This craziness, and so I never took it serious. I actually just asked my teacher. I was like, hey, this shouldn't hold me back. Like Spanish, this foreign language should hold me back. Like I don't see me using it. And I kid you not, 2 years later, or maybe a year later, I'm in Africa, and they speak in French. So I'm like, I tell these kids, you never underestimate. You never know where you're gonna go. Like my career was to travel the world, and I'm looking at my foreign language teacher, telling him like, I'm not gonna need a foreign language. I'm not gonna need this class.
Right.
And that's what I did for a living.
And you got paid.
I got paid. Yeah.
Who were you signed with? What shoe companies?
ASICS was my main shoe company. I actually was one of ASICS' first U.S. champions as well under their brand, and world championship as well. So yeah, I competed my whole career with ASICS at Oakley, had a couple other little brands, but ASICS was my main brand that I competed under for the whole career.
So my question is, football, track, dedication, single mind, focus, the whole 9 yards. How did your wife get your attention?
Actually, so it's a funny story. She's in the front. So when I moved to Phoenix, my wife was a strength coach at Arizona State.
What?
Yeah, so she was the strength coach. Not for me. She was basketball, volleyball, golf. So when I met her, I was starting my career.
Because you was going pro. You were a pro by then, or going pro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I was pro. She was, and I had no idea. I mean, but at this time, I'm still trying to find myself.
Right.
So we end up, we met, and then I noticed her. I still remember how I noticed her. And then shortly after that, probably a few months, my coach ended up getting a job at Texas Tech, and I left with him. So I ran my whole career, finished, retired, and then we met back up again years later and got married. It is the craziest.
That was God.
So we all went separate ways, and we circled back around.
Wow.
And like seriously, like once my career, I decided, probably, I mean, not long after I decided I was done running. She contacted me on Facebook, and we just started talking and connecting and talking. And she was wondering if I'm still competing. I'm like, I actually just finished running. I have business. I'm literally trying to build this product and different things like that. So yeah, it was a crazy story, but that's how I got. She was a strength coach at Arizona State.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? Because everything you prepared for early on moved you to what you're doing now.
Yeah. So I'm in business now. So me and my wife, we co-own a business called Ubuntu, and right now we're focused. We moved.
Wait a minute. Hold on, brother. You said the name of the business too quickly. You said Ubuntu.
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 It's on his shirt. It's on your shirt.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because he said it so quickly. I want to make sure it's Ubuntu.
It's on his shirt right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, say it right. Okay, go ahead.
You're right. South African term.
Right.
Yeah, humanity towards others. So right now we are. I moved back home with a purpose. I'm back in New Orleans, and I only said I would move back if I'm able to solve problems. And we have a huge problem with flooding.
Yes.
We deal with a lot of just these storms that are coming in, and these streets. I mean, just on a regular rainy day, I mean, streets are flooded out. People's homes are flooded. I mean, it just we have a lot of drainage problems. So our company helped deal with mitigating stormwater, flooding, and different things like that in the city. We actually just won our first prime contract in January.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a huge. I mean, that was a battle. That was a big fight, and not in a way that we had to.
Right.
Just no one that looks like me and
right
is in that space. We were subcontractors the year before, the only one of our kind. It's a chocolate city, and it was a shock for people to see, who's the owner, who's behind it. So. So that's what I'm doing right now, and every now and then I go out and try to help some kids. I want to do more, but my plate is so full with business, my 2 little kids.
Right.
So yeah, right now we're in business, blessed. We're able to work together, and grow and build. Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And as we end, I just want to say we're so proud of you. And by me being a track and field buff, I'm just riding high listening to you. Because I'm in this. So, to see you and to see how you have transitioned, and now you're a business owner What people don't know is that a lot of you athletes who retire from track and field do very, very well in your businesses and your endeavors because of running track and the discipline and working on a team with other people. It all works hand in hand for your life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to. At some point, you have to transition. And for me, I learned later that I was into business. I like business. I like developing things. I like, being innovative. So I mean, I just encourage anybody. I mean, but definitely athletes to dig deeper into themselves and don't just take the easy route. It's something. This is a lonely game. Like
Right.
being an entrepreneur. Not everybody's going to cheer for you, and not everybody understands your destiny, your gift. Like
Right.
Some of my family still don't understand. It's like it's why do you want to do this? But it's something that's in me that I know that I wanted to dig out, just like I did in being an athlete. So I encourage people to just dig. Of course, I love coaching and helping people, but I also know that I have an innovation. I love innovation. I love architecture. I love building. So that's something that God gave me, and I don't want to waste it.
Amen.
Well, brother, we're so godly proud
Yes,
of you.
this is awesome.
We love the story about the student athlete. We love the story about the athlete businessman. We love the story about family men in representing, and we love family business.
Yes.
And we just want to continue to encourage you that as long as God guides your footsteps, you keep on pushing,
Yeah, the sky's
because
the limit.
man will always say all kind of things, but if God before you, he's more than the world against you.
Yes.
Keep on pushing, and brother, you got family here at God Radio 1.
Anytime you need us, bro.
We got you.
And USA,
I
all the
appreciate
way,
it.
man.
Yes. I appreciate you
This
guys.
team gonna be dope.
Yeah.
This USA team this year.
Yes, I'm excited about it. I'm rooting on my coaches. He'll have a coach, Quincy Watts. He'll have a couple athletes out there.
Oh, Quincy's a star. Yes.
Amen. Well, Robert Earl Dean, thank you so much for bringing us none other than
The one and only. This is Greg Nixon, U.S. champion,
Yes,
Olympian,
yes.
world champion.
We're going to call on Jeremy Hill to sing us out. Come on, Jeremy. This is the way it's go.